Department of Social Services has a new leader tonight after months and months of controversy at that agency. Good Monday evening to you. I'm Janet Parker.
And I'm Brian McConkey. 6 months ago, the former director of the Department of Social Services stepping down under heavy pressure after months of scrutiny at DSS. Now, before November's gubernatorial election, Governor Nikki Haley said she would name a new agency head to help right the ship if she won another term.
Well, that person is Suzanne Alford of Irmo. Alford has almost 40 years of experience working in children's services. She's a former administrator at the Department of Juvenile Justice and spent the last 11 years at Clemson, where she most recently was director of the Girls Center at the school's Youth Learning Institute.
Now, Susan Alford inherits a very big and important job. It's an agency in flux after a number of high-profile child deaths and months of Senate hearings aimed at improving an understaffed and overworked child welfare agency that is in need of resources.
I can think of no mission that is more important than the mission of the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
After months of uncertainty and no permanent leadership, Governor Nikki Haley tapping Susan Alford to run the state's troubled Department of Social Services. The move coming 6 months after former DSS Director Lillian Kohler resigned amid hearings investigating claims that heavy caseloads were threatening child safety.
We can do this sort of work. It's always challenging, but we have to do it with openness, with integrity, with humility, and with a lot of determination.
There is a serious problem of morale and trust.
A panel of Senate lawmakers has been looking into issues at DSS since January. This fall, an audit found the agency fails to properly protect abused and neglected children. That audit indicating there were 152 child deaths between 2009 and 2013, where SLED did not have reports from a county coroner. Yet those cases met the legal criteria requiring they be properly reported.
County leaders, the legislature, law enforcement, the judiciary, child advocates everywhere, nonprofits, we all have to be part of the solution.
And that's why Governor Haley's new director wants support and regular meetings with all cabinet agencies, including SLED, the Department of Public Safety, and Health and Human Services, all of which are involved in reporting cases to DSS at some level.
I don't want us to take a quick approach and say, oh, here's Susan, and now it's all going to be fixed. It's not. If we're truly going to go into the guts of the system and clean it from the inside out by saying, what are we doing wrong and how do we continue to find a way to strengthen it, I think it's bigger than just what are you going to tackle first.
Now, Suzanne Alford takes over for interim director Amber Gillum, who has been guiding DSS through these last few tumultuous months. She has hired 250 new child welfare caseworkers, though, and supervisors at that agency, where turnover and understaffing has been very, very critical issue there. Now, here's what comes next for this. Alford's appointment still needs to be confirmed by some of the very same lawmakers who have been pushing for DSS reform over the past year. Susan Alford still needs approval from the state Senate.